what is it that we feared? Did we fear that militarily Russia would take us over, or China? Did we fear that economically we would become a pygmy and our people's standard of living would go down? Or was it what Roosevelt once called an undifferentiated fear, which I would say has something to do with the idea that we're number one. That's a personal viewpoint. What is it exactly that had all these people frightened to death?
It's a great question, and I thought a lot about that. So what would have happened if, let's say Castro, the worst case scenario had happened. Castro's communist, and then he exports communism to South American countries. I suppose practically it would hurt us economically in terms of trade. I mean, you could see how it would have some effect on our influence around the globe, and it could hurt us financially. So, I do think that there is in some way, an argument to be made that it would have been bad for the United States had a huge part of the world been under the domination of the Soviet Union and China. But people just kept referring to the American way of life is in jeopardy, without really specifying, as you say, what exactly? What's going to happen? We're going to have communists, camping out in our backyards. What does this mean? I don't really know the answer to why that fear was so intense, and I don't. And it clearly now we can look back and say that was not justified. But certainly at the time, there was this real belief that the communists were coming in closer and closer, and were going to get us.
What we oppose fundamentally is the aggressive nature of the communist state. Its unceasing effort to expand wherever it can, to grow bigger, to take over, to supplant. This deadly impulse toward aggression we oppose as a continual threat to peace. These are the contrasting points of view between the major antagonists in the conflict which has become known over the last decade as the Cold War.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law, the leader of reform in legal education and a leader in multimedia education for the public. To view the full interview and for a full listing of MSL's programs, log on to mslaw.edu.